Haven't seen the adelgid active on this mountain in a long time. Okay, is it a factor? Yes, but is it a factor low down where it's all red spruces we talked about before? The answer is zero, by definition. Okay, so what you're looking at. It's very important to point this out. What you're seeing here is an ecosystem already living on the edge. Therefore, it is a dominoes effect that we're observing. Okay, anytime there's a really cold winter, a hot summer, drought. Whatever it is, it's magnified. Instead of it having a little impact, it has a lot of impact because the ecosystem is so weak. So, simply say, oh, that tree died this year because of high ozone is ridiculous. You can no longer say that. The air pollution is one of the major triggering factors to the decline of the ecosystem. We believe that if it wasn't for the air pollution, that you would not see anywhere near the amount of damage. I mean, not a fraction that we are living with today. Out on the overstory. Now, let me comment about the understory right here. Basically, as you can see, 99% of the overstory has died. They are dead. The reason why you don't see far more stems than you do here, there used to be at least 2,000 stems per acre, is the reason that they've died and fallen down. Okay, most of them are actually rotted into the ground like you can see here at this time. The standing stems that you see are the ones of more recent vintage. Underlying those standing stems, you see other trees that are still green, sort of a uniform cohort, it's called, of green trees. These are the immature spruce and fir that have not yet gotten their roots deep down into the layer that has been A, acidified, and B, is loaded with aluminum, trivalent aluminum, which is leached by the acids in the soil. The acid trivalent aluminum gets in the soil, kills the roots, turns the trees yellow, turns the trees brown, they die. Lower down on the mountain, you may have noticed the yellowing of many of the red spruces. That's the first sort of prodromal symptom. When you see a tree and you tag it this year that's yellow, next year you'll come back and it's probably going to have brown tips all over it. The year after that it'll be all brown. The year after that it'll be one of those trees that we saw with just the feathery branches hanging onto the tree and the rest of it is dead. So what you see here is known as a forest decline syndrome. It is a syndrome. It's not as if the entire ecosystem simply collapses. You have different species, different physiological ages of trees that are being insulted differentially by the atmospheric deposition that has come in here. Again, standing here 20 years ago, you would have been able to see out in every direction 5 feet. Okay? Huge trees all around. You'd be going like this to try to sneak a peek between the trees. The entire overstory. Now, what's important about the overstory? Take a look at all these trees that you see down here. Somebody tell me what you don't see on any of those trees. Just looking at them, at the branches.
Cones.
Cones. You do not see any cones. These are all sexually immature trees. Meaning that the overstory, these dead trees, you're looking at right here, were the reproductive trees. They're dead. Okay? So what you're seeing is a point in time. I've been up here every year for the past 23 years, and I have a real knowledge, a real feel, if you know what I'm saying, as to what is going on up here. Sometimes it's very difficult for people to understand seeing just once, what it looks like, what it was. You're going to have to take my word for it, and we've got the pictures to back it up, okay? Everything you've seen today from, let's say, the ranger station on up, the entire spruce fir ecosystem, a mere 20 years ago, there was 1% mortality. Maybe 1% mortality. What now you're looking at is what the U.S. Forest Service classifies as over 70% mortality of the spruce fir ecosystem. Some of those places where I was going berserk down lower on the mountain, that's just happened. That has just happened. As I said, it looks down there like it did up here 15 years ago, with just skeletons all over the place, which I did not expect. Harvard warned me. He said, I've been up here, and he said there's a lot more mortality. And again, that's a feeling you can get once you've been up here and lived up here. For a period of 6 years, I spent a total of 1,000 days on this mountain, mostly during the summers and falls, living and doing research.